We have
Yes.
Mikey, he, him in Georgia is saying that atheism is a belief system just like nihilism. Well, hey, Mikey, you're chatting with Armin, Navabi, and Secular Rarity. What is up?
I'm blessed. How are you?
Yeah. Same. Hashtag blessed.
No hashtags,
just blessed.
The high life.
Sweet.
Yeah,
Sweet.
yeah,
Man.
just blessed.
Well,
just
yeah.
blessed.
Talk to us about this. You
whole
say that
eternity is
atheism
going to be
is
hashtag.
you say that atheism is a belief system. Tell us your thoughts on that. I mean, I already disagree, but
or we could just do the rest of the call about your problem with hashtags. We could do that.
Oh,
as
yeah.
well. We could go that route.
Well, after, hang on. We're gonna do the God thing first, Mikey, and then we'll bring up the hashtags. Okay?
Yes. Let's do atheism first.
Oh, okay. Let's do atheism first, then we do hashtag second. Atheism is a belief system just like nihilism. I'm sick of people saying atheism isn't a belief system because you have to believe that you're an atheist, then you have to identify that you are an atheist, correct?
Is that what a belief system is for you? Is that the extent of a belief system? Is that the only criteria?
No, that's one of the qualifications of a belief system.
So then what are the rest?
I'm not a walking dictionary, but
what are the rest then? Because currently what it sounds like, you've given us criteria that is essentially not helpful in determining anything, right? Because like what you're saying there is like, I don't know, stamp collecting is a belief system because you have to identify as being a stamp collector first. But I wouldn't say stamp collecting is a belief system. So like, what are other attributes of a belief system? I would tend to say like a doctrine, like a codified doctrine. Yeah, that's pretty good.
I mean, being a Democrat is a belief system. It doesn't have a codified doctrine. So by
the Democratic, hold up. Wait. The Democratic Party does absolutely have a party platform. Like that's not up for debate. So they do have a strict guidelines of the positions that they as an organization take. So where is that for atheism?
Okay, let's switch it up. Being independent. What is the doctrine of being independent?
Just want to make sure real quick. You're saying you can't answer that question, so we're going to move on. No problem. I'm happy to let it go. I'll unmute you, but right after Armin asks his question.
Okay, so how about this, Mike? Let's try this. What is your statement here says atheist is a belief system. Okay, so maybe you're correct. I want to understand what is atheism and what is a belief system. Like, how do you? And I don't expect you to be, as you said, a walking dictionary. Just based on what you think atheism is, can you define it based on your understanding? What is atheism?
All right, could you give me 60 seconds? Could you give me 60 seconds? Like 60
Heck
seconds.
Yeah, we can.
I know
Heck yeah, we can.
Yeah, but before we give you 30 seconds, can I get not? I don't want the characteristics of. Okay, before you start, I want a definition, and I don't want you to like elaborate about what it leads to, or what you think it must lead to, or what the characteristics of atheism are. I want a definition of atheism, okay, not an explanation of what the outcomes of atheism are, and also a definition of a belief system. Right. So
clear,
those
Mikey?
are what we're asking.
60 seconds. Is everything Armin just said clear? You understand the task?
Wait, could I get 2 60-second intervals? Because now
whoa,
atheism.
Whoa. I've muted you again here, buddy. You can have as much 60-second intervals as you like whenever you create the longest running atheist call-in show in the world and put it on for 26 years every Sunday. We are being very generous, I think. We are allowing you a full uninterrupted 60 seconds at your request. I feel like if we make it through that positively, we have the potential for more uninterrupted 60 seconds. So let's try to accomplish this. Armin, give us one more time. I've got you on mute right now, Mikey. I'm going to unmute you in just a second. You're probably going to hear a little beep. But Armin, lay this out one more time so we're all clear. We want the definition of atheism, right?
right? And the definition of a belief system, and we
Okay.
don't want the characteristics. We don't want an explanation for what atheism would lead to necessarily or not. We just want definitions here.
Got it. I'm on board. Just
Right.
give us your best, Mikey. We're not expecting it to be perfect. We understand you're not a dictionary, but the task is very clear, I think. I'm going to unmute you, and then we're going to start the clock. All right? Unmuting you now. Clock is starting.
Wow, I see that this show is mute crazy. Yeah, I'm not going to start the. They're right. I haven't started the longest radio show or whatever, but both of you are relatively new. All right, so atheism is the rejection of a prime agent that created everything. Now, that's one of the definitions. Otherwise, a person that rejects gods, goddesses, because people always forget about women, demigods, and I would add even angels, because angels are the agents of God, is an atheist. What more would I like to add? Atheism is not a personality trait. Atheism is not a.
We didn't ask. Okay, the 1 minute is up, but we didn't ask for the things that it's not.
Yeah.
Okay, we asked for the things that it is. But also, can you say what you mean by belief system?
Yeah, give us that. We don't need to do a whole clock again. We'll just give us a summary just like that. What do you think a belief system is? Because it sounds like what you're saying atheism is at least decent on the right page. Yeah, a little wrong.
Well, I mean,
but
it's not a rejection. It seems like what you think of atheism is more of a positive claim, and maybe me and Elliot are not thinking about a positive claim. But we're happy to work with your definitions. Like, we're not like, if maybe our definitions would not make it a belief system, but maybe the way you define atheism, maybe it would make it a belief system. And then we could explain to you how we look at atheism, and you could understand maybe why, based on our definitions, it wouldn't be a belief system. And we will cooperate with you. Maybe based on yours, it would. So now that we understand what you think of what atheism is, what do you think a belief system is?
The reason why my definition of atheism leaned towards the positive is I tried to make it like neutral. I know there's a difference between positive atheism and negative atheism. There's multiple layers of atheism. That's why it's a belief system, because when it comes to belief systems, there's multiple layers of assumptions. And that's what
you mean when you say a belief system? When you say the words in casual conversation to your friends or neighbors or random strangers, when you say the phrase belief system, do you genuinely mean the words you just said, which is, I believe what you said was a thought that has multiple layers? I feel like that's not what you actually mean when you say that, because that would be nonsensical. So let's one more time. When you say belief system, what do you mean by that? I understand that you say atheism is a belief system. I'm just trying to get at what those words mean to you in your head whenever you say them publicly.
Okay, I think you kind of, I don't know if this was on purpose or you accidentally did this. I think you kind of strawmanned what I said.
Yeah, hey, fine, happy. I strawmanned it. I'm wrong. Correct me. Here's the question. Very clear, very simple. What do you mean when you say belief system?
All right. So what do I mean when I say belief systems? I said it. Casual layers of assumptions and claims.
Layers.
I was right. I just want to point out that what I said was actually pretty close to what you're now doubling down on. Hey, let's try this. Mikey, give me just a second. I'm just going to give Armin here 30 seconds. Armin, what do you mean when you say the words belief system?
I mean, I just looked up the definition.
Oh,
it's a pretty
snap.
good one.
What's that?
A belief system is a set of principles or tenets that form at the basis of a person's understanding, interpretation, and evaluation of the world.
Yeah,
There.
I think that's pretty
That's
good.
it.
I think that's pretty good. I
Yeah.
accept that. Do you also like that definition, Mikey? Could you accept that definition for this conversation?
I mean, not really, but it can work, I guess.
What's your problem with that
And
definition?
it's just a little bit too robotic, and it's not really ideal to how we as like human beings use casual like language.
But I don't
Like,
think
I
I don't
kinda
think
hate
your
going-
definition is one that actually allows us to make any progress in conversation. Your definition is one that seemingly applies to like everything in the world. And that seems like not a good way to distinguish between stuff, man. I think a more robust definition like the one Armin provided is actually a little bit better. And I think definitely under that understanding, atheism could not be considered a belief system. Please, please, Armin.
Okay, so here's the thing, Mikey. So we have these things called words, and they're there for us to communicate, right? And for them to be effectively used for us to communicate, we need to, agree on the definitions of it. So it's okay for Mikey to have his own definitions. That's completely fine. But the definitions that gives us the most utility out of words are the definitions that more people are using, right? So given that the word atheist, so the word atheist could mean something to Mikey, and it could mean something else to more people out there. And the word, the belief system could mean something specifically to Mikey, and it could mean something else to how most people use these words. So I gave you the definition for belief system, and that's what most people, I mean, it's completely fine to you to mean something else. You're like, that sounds robotic. Mikey doesn't like it. Okay, Mikey doesn't like. Mikey could use a different definition. But we understand that most people, when they say belief system, that's usually what they mean. And when they also say atheist, what I told you, they usually mean a lack of belief in God. So if we go by Mikey's definition, maybe atheism is a belief system. For example, based on my definitions, humanism is a belief system. I have no problem with saying humanism is a belief system.
Yeah, totally.
But given the definition that we use for atheism, if you agree with if you choose our definition, so I'm not saying our definition is correct, maybe your definition is better, but do you see, Mikey, that if we go with our definition, which is a lack of belief in God, if that was a definition, and if the definition of a belief system was what I just read to you, then by those definitions, which might be the wrong definitions, but by those definitions, atheism would not be a belief system. Do you see that?
I think the definition you gave, a lack of the belief in God, is more or less associated with abonism. I forgot what the word. I don't know if it's abonism, but it starts with an A. And
Agnosticism?
Agnosticism?
Being agnostic. That more
apatheist
with being agnostic.
Are you thinking like apathy? Like apatheist? Like somebody that just doesn't care?
No.
Okay.
Agnostic.
Okay. But agnostic
you know what agnostic is?
Yeah. Agnostic is generally saying that somebody does not have knowledge on something. It's talking about whether or not somebody has knowledge, right? Whereas theist and atheist are talking about the belief that somebody holds, right? So in a lot of different usage, go ahead. No, go ahead, Armin.
But that was not even the question. I think Mikey went up before we agree or disagree on the definitions. I just wanted to make it clear, if that is the definition, let's say Armin is using the wrong definition for atheism and Mikey is using the correct definition for atheism. My question is that if the definition of atheism is a lack of belief in God, and if the definition of a belief system is what I just read to you, based on those definitions, would you agree that atheism is not a belief system? If that was the definition, can we at least agree on that? I mean, I think that's a pretty easy thing to agree on.
Well, I think that's a fair compromise. What do you think, Mikey?
I mean, it's easy. It's easy to agree on, but I don't really, even with your standard definition of what you said a belief system is, I don't agree that atheism is not a belief system based on your frigid definition you gave from the dictionary. And which
How so?
dictionary is that? Is
What?
that Webster?
Where's the problem? Hang on. Stop. Don't try to pretend you're gonna dispute lexicography. Chill out, man. Dictionaries have a frickin' science to them that people have been doing for a very long time. Okay, we don't need to go do anything like that. Let's just take you where you're at, man. You said, hey, even with that definition of lack of belief for atheism, whether it's wrong or right, I'm giving you your tools. You guys say it's a lack of belief. Fine. Even given that definition of belief system, hey, I think it's a bit strict. I think it's a bit robotic, but I'm giving you your tools. You say that they still have a contradiction, that there's still a problem here. So Armin and I are saying, hey, man, we don't think so. Could you point it out to us? Based on the definitions that Armin and I have provided for atheism and belief system, just letting us play with our toys, what's the problem? Where is the issue there? Tell us. We'd love to know.
Well, lack of belief is more of an agnostic atheist, and there's all types of
So what you're
atheists.
just saying
There's
is
positive
instead
atheists,
of saying that the definitions that Armin and I gave you, instead of saying you're going to accept those for an internal critique, which is what you're trying to do here, you're going to say those definitions just aren't real to begin with, bro. Do you see why that's not particularly satisfactory in this discussion? What we've done is Armin and I have said, hey, man, all our cards are on the table. We are more than willing to say that these definitions are flat out wrong. But let's just go with it for a minute. You then look at that and say, yeah, I can do that. And based on that, it's wrong. And then when we ask you where it's wrong, point it out to us, show us. Your response is to say, well, atheist, that's not really the definition anyway. So do you see how that's not playing the game you agreed to?
You're using like the most bread toast definition of atheism.
So freaking what? Deal with it. You're the one who said you're going to deal with it, man. You're the one that said, I'll grant you these definitions. You're the one that's playing this game. If you don't want to play this game, stop playing, man. It's fine. But you showed up and said, here's my definitions. And we said, hey, we use different definitions. Based on those definitions, are we wrong? And you said, yeah, based on those definitions, you're wrong. And then when we say, based on those definitions, tell us where we're wrong, you say, I don't want to play anymore. That's not what we agreed to. I want to play a different game. Do you just see how that doesn't make any sense, man? Do you see how that's problematic? Like, Armin and I will say after this, if you genuinely want to, we'll give you your toys. We'll let you play with your definitions. We're happy to do that because guess what? Like Armin said, based on the definitions you gave, he and I would probably agree. Yeah, man, based on those definitions, atheism is a belief system.
Maybe.
Maybe. Right. Like we don't even know. We can't even get there yet. But
if you just give us the step, so then we go to your definitions. Like we just want to understand that you agree that based on our definitions, it's not a belief system. Once you show us that, then we go and play with your definitions. But you just don't want to give us anything, and that's why we are having such a hard time into moving the next step, because I think that you don't want to. You feel like you've been defeated or something. Like I don't know why you're being so stubborn. It's pretty easy to see that based on the definitions that me and Elliot use, then atheism is not a belief system. Is that not a fact? If it's not, just tell us why. That's really easy.
All right, I'm gonna tell you why it's not a fact. And I feel bad for disagreeing with you guys because y'all seem like nice guys.
Yeah, you do too.
We are nice guys.
Seem like nice guys. like people I want to throw a bone to. Like I'm sorry for like maybe breaking y'all hearts to disagree with y'all,
It
but
did. It
here's
hurt me
here's the
deeply. It
thing.
cut me deep. Yes, it hurt. Go ahead. Tell us why
I'm
we're
just
wrong.
the emo, man.
Yeah, I
I'm
get
just
it,
the
man.
emo. I'm just cutting people deep.
That's right. Tell
But,
us why we're wrong.
Go ahead.
Okay, I'm gonna tell y'all. All right. So the reason why y'all are wrong is because atheism is supposedly an answer to one question: do you believe in God? But one, there's the triune God, in which three persons in one. Huh?
No, go ahead. No,
say
I'm letting
something?
you. No, I'm letting you go for a second here, man. I think it's gonna make a great
We
point.
can't
when
believe
you're
that we're
finished.
letting him speak because given the
Yeah.
nonsense.
Yeah.
He's
Well,
like,
I
wow, we're
figured he
letting
might
him
wrap it up in 30 seconds. See, because I was gonna use it as an example of like,
He's like, they're actually letting me say all
to
this
not have a
nonsense.
conversation, you know? It's
Right.
like it would be as if, Armin, you asked me a direct question like, hey man, what are you eating for lunch later? And I responded with, man, gosh, the weather has been terrible this last week. It's just not a way to have a conversation, you know? Like one person says something and the other person kind of builds off of that and moves forward. One more time, Mikey. One more time. I genuinely want, I think we can do this. And I appreciate you saying you think Armin and I, are nice people. I think we're nice. I think you're probably nice too, man. I bet you, we could get a beer sometime and have great laughs about things. I don't know. But
Yeah.
here's what I want to understand. Okay. Last chance. I feel like you can do this. I really do. I believe in you. You said based on our definitions, thank you. You said based on our definitions of atheism and belief system that there is still an argument to be made that atheism is a belief system as succinctly as possible, as direct to the point as you can, my friend. How is that the case? Give us an example. How, under our definitions, does atheism still classify as belief system for you?
Atheism, according to your definition, classify as a belief system to me the same way that lesbianism classifies as a sexuality. Like if I ask you, hey, do you date men?
Okay. I gotta stop. I can't even keep going with that. Do you feel like that was a fair response, Armin? Do you feel like that
I don't think this person even knows how to have a conversation.
Okay.
I don't know why.
All
I think we
right.
spend too much time on it.
Mikey, I'm so sorry. I'm letting you go.
Why
man.
are you? By the way, Elliot, when you say it would be fun, it would probably be fun to have a beer with Mikey. I hope you were just speaking for yourself because I would not.
Yeah. Well,
I would
again,
not sign up for that.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. Again, I don't know. That's my only interaction with the guy. He could turn out to be even worse.
Yeah.
It was a little rough, man. That was a little rough because
Yeah.
like that's the whole point. That's the whole point of doing an internal critique is like you say, I'm going to take what you said as true as the starting point, and then we move on from there. But every time we were like, okay, so you accept where we're starting. What's the problem? And his response was, well, you're starting at the wrong place. And it's like, well, we already figured that out, man. We already figured this out. I don't know.
I like how many theists think that it's a got you for you to like. They think like, oh, I got you. Atheism is a belief system.
I'm glad you said that.
As if we are anti-belief system. They're like, oh no, they think we're being defensive because we are anti all belief systems. But like, I mean, I like humanism. That's a belief system, right?
Yeah.
I like
the
literalism.
Satanic Temple. I would say that they're a belief system. There are different definitions for things like religion and belief system. And there's a reason that we have those. And depending on what definition you're taking, I take a very strict stance. When I use the term religion, I am specifically talking about an organization with a codified doctrine of beliefs and the belief in the supernatural. Okay. Those are included. That is not the United States' legal definition of religion, because the United States' legal definition of religion includes the Satanic Temple and secular humanism. In the first definition of religion, I'm against all religions. In the second definition, I'm not. I don't think that's particularly crazy or complicated. Do you, Armin? Am I way off base?
No. But yeah, no, you're right. But I just want to spell this out to people. Okay, when we say atheism is not a belief system, it's not because like it's a got you if you show us that it's a belief system. Because me and Elliot do have belief systems. Am I correct about
Yes,
Elliot?
yes,
we do have belief systems. Okay,
Everybody does.
atheism might not be one of them. Okay, but we do have other belief systems beyond just our beyond, we're more than just atheists. We do ascribe to certain belief systems here, right? But I mean, I'm interested to see what would be the next step. Like, atheism is a belief system. I got you. Like, I got us how? Like, how is that a win for you?
Yeah,
how is that like? Okay.
It almost feels like the plan is to get us atheists to go, okay, you got us. We have a belief system. And then they're going to be like, aha, so therefore atheism can't be real because you don't like belief systems. But again, like that's not belief systems.
We do like we like good belief systems. Really we hate bad belief systems. We like good. And also, how do I sign up for the belief system lesbianism? Because I'm actually interested. Like, is that something that
I was a little surprised. I was a little surprised that was where we went. I don't know. Maybe it's a belief system. I'm gonna.
I didn't know. Lesbians in the live chat. I didn't know you guys have your own specific belief system. Can you let us know what that is?
There's got to be a church. It's 2024. There's probably a church.